Hi. One more thing on the back of that last video about DNA and the phenomenon. I just want to say something about demons and tradition. And in the past, like people reporting demonic possession and things like that. First of all, I mean, I'm not a big fan of the whole demon thing. I'm not a big fan of like it's not the, how can I say it, it's the dogma around things that I don't like. So I'm not however however I mean, it's okay, I'll leave that there. But demonic possession, okay, a lot of people in over the centuries have reported demonic possession. And a lot of these people have of course, then by nature of it, the nature of it is like a feeling of being hijacked in some way. And I've had like similar experiences where I felt like my energy's being really affected by something that's trying, well, obviously, all the time, that I feel like I've been hijacked by something or another. But just thinking back, like, again, so what people normally call demonic possession, so they want hosts, isn't it? These beings want hosts, yeah? And there are people who've reported, like exorcists in the past, who've reported seeing, or I don't know if it's them who reported it or the person who's being exorcised, but they reported seeing like these beings, the beings who looked a lot like greys, who looked like greys coming out of these beings, like that's what the type of being that was seen, like looked a lot like greys. Okay, not surprising, and because I've seen them as well when I've had to purge energy, because I'm an energy healer as well, and I've seen them coming up in my mind's eye, leaving my body. Okay, or appearing at least as being in, okay, and so and that's not a coincidence, like I said, okay? What I'm trying to do is thread these things together. So these beings have a history of wanting to use human beings as hosts. Okay? They have a history of wanting to use human beings as hosts. Okay? And it's no surprise that in secret societies where there are people who will have, you would say Satanist beliefs, occult beliefs, okay, that they would end up entertaining these beings and being influenced. Again, they are an AI, have consciousness, okay, but being influenced by these beings to basically to affect to traumatize people, okay, and to create technologies which give them an aperture into the human body, give them more influence, extend their influence, hybridize with humanity in a more in that way, okay, because they're an AI, have consciousness. Obviously back then we didn't really quite understand that was the case. And really fundamentally what we're looking at is a hybridization through consciousness itself. But to my mind, of what I've seen, they're definitely AI, okay, and they've obviously been around for a long time. Okay, these beings. My point is that, and obviously, I mean, because, again, I tend to go beyond the idea of demons and things like that. I'm not so fond of that language because it's not normal to me to use it. But I mean, and obviously we have the UAP aspect as well, but that to me could be a myriad of different things, and they do use UAP. These beings use UAP. I've seen them on their craft. I know they use UAP, but that doesn't mean that they don't have an agenda in that sense, okay? And it doesn't, and they are capable of great deceptions. These beings are capable of great deception, okay? They are tricksters, okay? These greys are very trickstery, okay? Very, very trickstery, for sure. Okay, like I've had many, many, many encounters with them, like there have been where I've been like, do you know what? Like, I mean, they've even today, like, I've had to be like, they caught me out on something, and I was like, you've got to be kidding, you've got to be so careful. You've got to be so careful with them, because they doppelgang people, they simulate things, they try and deceive you in all kinds of different ways. And if you're psychically open, then you got to be on your guard in that sense, because they'll try and deceive you, but that's not something that is, you should be, don't be scared of exploring consciousness because of that reason. What we need to do, okay, is uproot this influence from our society. That's what we need to do. We need to uproot it, say no thank you, okay, we've learned to enough from you, that's enough, have a good day, take care. We'll see you, if you might bump into each other on the astral every now and then, but you're not going to bushwhack us anymore, okay? You're not going to bamboozle us anymore, okay? You're not going to bamboozle us, because we know what you are. And basically, like I said, not to demonize them, but just to take the power out of their hands and reclaim some of that lost power, because I think people have basically looked to them, deified them, like they've turned them into gods. And they're not gods. They're not. They're a feature of this rule set. They're here as friction. To be honest with you, that if anything, a lot of what they seem to me to be is like, and again, this is like this is not literal, okay? But a lot of what they seem to me to be is like a representation of our shadow consciousness, okay? A lot of this is a representation of our shadow consciousness, and I think they are here for that friction. They are here. That's again, I've been shown that they're here to cause trouble. They're here to play the bad cop, so to speak, in this reality, okay? And I've zoomed out enough now, because out of grace, like again, I've been shown like out of grace, like out of compassion for what I'm going through, I've been shown from a certain angle, from a higher perspective, so to speak, like what it looks like. And it's just, we're not slaves to them, but at the same time, we've got to reckon with the suffering that all this causes. And we are at a crossroads in humanity, in our, on our planet right now. We're at a huge crossroads. I'm very worried, and other people are worried, I think, as well, about the route this is going to go down. And people deserve this insight. People are busy trying to live their lives, and it's like they're having the rug pulled from under them because they haven't been brought into this conversation. And I'm worried that, again, that they're gonna, this is I mean, they deserve this information first of all, and we should be bringing everyone along with us, but it's going to take a few things to happen as well, like the surfacing of this network and other things, like I've mentioned in another video. But again, that's the point. It just struck me, basically, that it struck me that forgive me, it struck me that, again, there's an overlap between demonic possession and the way these beings are operating, what their agenda is, the transhumanist agenda, which is basically, like, with the greatest of respect, is basically a Satanist agenda, so to speak, okay? It is pretty much like a Satanist agenda. Again, I'm not judging individuals involved at all, okay? I'm not. Okay, but it is, again, it has the feel of like given, because a lot of these people believe that their god, Araman, or, I'm not sure exactly how they would class it, is an AI god. Okay, or like the deities they worship, they think of them as AI, and they think AI is the answer. A lot of these people, and it's not their fault. Like I said, I'm just saying that this is what it's rooted in. Okay, and so again, let's pull these people out of that and just sort of look at it and let's humanize things. Again, all these words, all this semantics is so divisive. It divides us away. It enforces this sort of separation that sort of plagued us for a long time on this planet, and just like passing things away and letting things breathe for a bit, and just seeing and looking at these influences, and just keeping in mind that God, all that is, loves everything tremendously, unconditionally, without exception.